In this video I will show you how to embed a WPF control like this block here in a Windows Forms application. So the frame what we see here is a Windows Form application, and inside this this application I have a WPF user control with a button and a text box, and when I click on the text box on the button comes up, the result of the button will be read. And the same is when I'm outside of this user control, and when I'm in a Windows Form button and ask for that stuff, then this button also gets the results and values and properties of this control. So and I need that stuff since I want to place the web browser from WPF and some custom controls from Telerik on Windows Form application. And also I want to embed this one on a later point on an Office application, an Office Word. So now I stop that stuff and I will show you how this works. So first what we do here, we create a new project. Now we are in Office, in the Office Community Edition within 2016. So what we first create, we create a Windows Forms application, a simple application, and we say, okay, this is my WinForm with WPF Control 02. Oh, it's already existing, so this is my third stuff. Now the system creates a Windows Form application, and as you see there's a blank form at the beginning. I will add a new project. This is the right way. And for this, now I get a new project on this block, not a user control inside this one, but a block there. And here I take the WPF custom user controls library. So this is my WPF user controls, and I embed it there. Now we get this beautiful block there. First block is the Windows Forms application, and now this is a project, a separate project with a different output of and a different DLL at the output. Now here we also have a user control. When this system starts, then we get here a default user control, and yeah, maybe I leave it like this one, or let's say yeah, let's rename that stuff. I close that stuff and I say, okay, I'm renaming it, and I say this is my, to rename that control by user control WPF, for example, or it's in fact it's a grid file. So when we are there, we will see here user control, and this has also to be called user control WPF, but that's not really necessary to do that because this also brings some problems with it. How did we name it? User control WPF. Now that's this one. Okay, not user control, they're the same name. Okay, that's it. And now I may embed into this small grid. There we see it on our lower block. That's a better view. Now here it is, and we drop a button on there. Simply a button on there, a test button, and so this is called button test with the title. This is a WPF test button, and then we also need a text box, so we may check to get and maybe to write a text on there. Not this one, text box, and I call this PBX test, and this is my in WPF, for example. Now I may compile that stuff, compile it, and then when I leave this now and go to my WinForms application, then here I'm able to implement a host, element host. Here it is, the element host, and as soon as I click here on selected host content, then I'm able to select a user control. So this is the user control which we defined on the same project, but it may also be defined on a separate project outside of this solution. Okay, now when I run this stuff, then I will see the W test button. Didn't I save it? Why that's not here? It is there. Yes, but the size is not enough. But that's not the main purpose at the moment to do that. And when we compile that, then we get the new stuff. Here it is. Okay, now we have a nice WPF control in by itself in here, but what we also want to do, we want to get some information outside of on the Windows application. We want to do something with this control, to get and set something. So for this, for the testing, I create this button here. Let's take another one. It's not like this, I would say. Let's I'm always changing something. Here, go to properties, and inside the properties you will have here the text. This is my WinForms button. And here on a click event, when I click on there, shit, didn't want to have this one here. First also take the name here, button WinForm. Yeah. So now I'm going there. This is because I took out from this designer that stuff, but I will not correct this at the moment. We will run on straight there. Now I go here to my event, and in my event why does it not open? view code. There it is. Is this the right one? No. There's an error. No error warning. An error was encountered during code generation. The changes you have made, the designer code may not have the source code. Maybe we close it first. Okay, and again. We close it again, and now we open it again. Here's my Win button. Then I'm able to say here, this is my button WinForm. Now it runs. And here's my button one click, but I don't need this one. I will say give me this one, and here I say okay, now when I am there, what happens when somebody clicks on there. First we do this one. I want two things. I want to get something, get and set something when I'm outside in the Windows Forms application, and I want to do something when I'm inside my user control. Now inside my user control we will do this one. Here in the XAML control we have this. We have here the button itself, and the button itself has let's do it like this one. Here's my test button, and here are my click event. I may generate this event here on the click event, or writing here on click. That's the same. Let's do it in XAML. Click and equal, generate a new event or handler, and then that's it. And then we go to the view code, and in the view code now we have in the view code now we are here. Okay, and here I may say okay, what is my, for example, give me a message box. Message box is always something quite nice. Message box, show me what is my button, button title, button caption, whatever, button text at the moment, just for get a value, button test, and here it's the content in Windows, in WPF it's content, and tbx text equals tbx text. So why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I want to show that when I am in the application and push a button or do something, generate an event, then the system finds its own values. Okay, and now I want to do the same stuff from the outside. I also want to get this stuff in here, and I would say okay, what's going on with my when I'm there. I have my holder, this one, this is my element holder, element host, not holder, element host, and there I will look for the child, and the child itself is of the inside is, I want to read everything what's inside. So this is the user control, but first we make a short run of that stuff. We generate, we build everything, and we run it once, and now we see when I push something there, then I will get information there out of my controls and my stuff which is inside my WPF. and when I do something here, we have go on there. So now to get the element there, we have to get a reference. The best and easiest stuff, what I find, is we go in here into our project, and then we are globalizing our controls. At the moment, the button and the text box is not visible. Whenever I go there and insert my web browser, then I want simply my web browser control on the outside. And to do this, we have to take this stuff, to take some public stuff, and in this case, as I say, it's a public button. We need a public button and a public text box. And when the system comes up and the user control is loaded, then we will say, okay, the button is the same as will be loaded by the internal button, or the button which is shown. And I would also say, okay, my text box equals my actual text box. So, and that's it. Now I have this stuff in the outside. Now I'm compiling this stuff, and now we do a little trick. It's already there. It's already there when I entered that stuff. We have to, the reference has to be set to WPF user controls. So when I make a using here, then I will see everything with what is in there. So I say, okay, using WPF as WPF user controls. So let's do it like this. And now at the when the stuff comes up, then I will say, okay, here, that's my element host. The first element, let's first start with a object to give you an idea. Object, for example, like this. And I will show you why I'm doing this. Now when I push the button, then I will come to my child element, and here I see, okay, Shift F9 is for adding this quick watch. And now I will see this is my element, my user element host, and inside the element host I have this element host child, and this one is of the type user control WPF. So this is my user control WPF, and when I want to get this stuff, so this is the first child. Now I say WPF user control from this one. I said this one, or also the other one like this, user control. And now, as you see, now I see my user control, my inside user control. I will say, okay, this is UC, for example, and we have to convert it at runtime. So I say this is also WPF as a user control, as this one, the first user control. Maybe you will rename it in a better way. And now when I want to check the buttons and all this stuff, what's inside, then I say, okay, I will also generate a message box, show, and now I would say, okay, my user control button. And now we see, you see, this is the button which we defined as public. And here we will see, okay, there's also the content again. So I will say, okay, again, here, that's my my WPF content button, title or caption, what else, let's say, okay, it's content equals this one, and now I am in the outside, and I want and I'm able to read something from the WPF control. So that's these are different worlds. And WPF text tpx equals text tb user control, and inside there I have this tbx, and this is a text box from the type text box. Now I see I want to read the text there, and I say okay, hey, that's it. And now what we did before, we did this one, we generated an event there, and we're reading our own stuff inside this little box. Now we are here, and as you see, when I click there, I may get all the stuff of all controls which are inside this little sub-control. So I hope I could give you a short overview about user controls inside hosted inside a Windows Forms application. The same would be possible as Windows Forms in WPF applications. And I hope I could what's the word, easyfy it for you, because it's the trick is when you go there and say okay, I have here the public stuff, and I set my inside to my outside element, and then I may grab everything from the outside. So if you liked it, then give me a like, for example.